I can't believe I missed that one because, okay, so here's that boulder that needs strength, and here's another trainer, but, huh? It's been a while since I last saw another person. What about that hiker that's just a screen away? Did you just stay glued to that spot for the last 3 months or something? There's a guy just one screen away. Go talk to him if you're desperate for attention or something. But, okay, as I was about to say, I can't believe I missed that one because usually I just love pointing that stuff out. But it popped up, thankfully, as the thumbnail for part 44, and it's the fact that they still haven't gotten the spelling of elixir right. It's still spelled with an E instead of with an I. Now, you remember when I noticed that they managed to spell girlfriend right in this game? Remember when I said the game designers had done their homework? Well, I retract that statement entirely. I imagine me praising the game designers must have angered some god or something. But as for my plans, after I'm done with the Union Cave, I'm going to head all over the world with my newly acquired surf to head to areas I couldn't access before. First, I'm going to head to Route 35 because there's a berry that needs to be collected there. And after that, I'm going to stop by Goldenrod to give my Lapras a Blizzard and Thunder. And then after that, it's Route 34, where there are a few trainers that require Surf to reach. And after that, I'm going to backtrack and head to the Dark Cave. I'm going to be able to go much deeper into it this time. And wait a minute, does this... Yep, this leads to the Ruins of Alph. Actually, I didn't need strength for that one. The way I remembered it, I needed strength for both exits to the Ruins of Alph, but it appears that I need strength for only one of them. And you may have noticed that grass on the left side of the screen. There's only Natu and Smeargle there, but it's the only place in the entire game where you can catch these. So anyway, now I'm at the Ruins of Alph, which reminds me, other than this section, there's another section that's opened up by Surf, and I'm going to head there before I head to the Dark Cave, and going through the Dark Cave is going to lead me to Route 46. You know, that's the one route where I explored just one small segment at the very beginning of the game. Okay, what is this one? Oh, looks like it's Who. So, as I remember, there's a puzzle of Kabuto, which I already did. There's Who, which I'm going to do now, okay, and... Okay, now here I need to bring Who to gain access to the back chamber. So here, I'm going to solve the puzzle for Who, and yes, the Dark Cave leads to Route 46, and after that, my last stop is going to be Cherry Grove City, where there's an item to be found, and after that I'm going to move on to Route 38. Hopefully I'll have trained my Lapras a bit by then, because if it's still in the low 20s, well, it might be a bit of trouble. Okay, so this goes here. This is getting a bit complicated. No! Okay, this one goes here, and on the other side, the way I remember it, this one goes here, because the puzzle, did really? Nope, I was right in my assumption. This really goes down here, and this goes here. Yeah, the wings are symmetrical, so it's fairly easy. Once you realize you made a mistake on one side, you can correct it on another as well. So this looks okay. Let's see. Yep! Puzzle solved. So now I'm going to head down to the main chamber where more unknowns are going to be released there. It's a shame I couldn't access that back chamber though. I am going to need to come back here once I get Who, and it's not going to be for right now. So what I am going to do right now though is I'm going to head to the Pokemon Center and grab my Lapras, and of course teach it Surf, because well, it not only is it its signature move, but it's probably one of its most useful ones along with Ice Beam, which I can't have just yet. And yes, I'm going to heal my Pokemon for sure, because, you know, that trek through the Dark Cave, it was, well, not difficult, but it was a bit more complicated than everything else I've encountered so far. I've met the Pokemon in the mid-20s, evolved forms on top of that, so yeah, I really need that healing. So Sudowoodo is going to be deposited for now because Rock Smash isn't all that useful, and I'm going to withdraw Lapras instead. And as I said, I am going to teach it Surf, and I'm also going to teach Flash to Psyduck, because Bellsprout is really near the end of its career as an HM slave. Once I catch Farfetch, I'm going to teach it Cut, and Bellsprout will become useless. So here we go, Lapras learns Surf, and for Psyduck, I'm going to teach it Flash, which once again reminds me that Gengar is currently holding the Quick Claw. Now you may remember that I said I was going to give it to Lapras since it's going to be by far the slowest member of my team. So the Quick Claw is going to be going to Lapras instead of Gengar. So to recap the places I'm going to go to before moving on to Route 38, Route 35, Goldenrod, Route 34, Ruins of Alph, Dark Cave, Route 46, and Cherry Grove City. After that, I'm going to move on with the story. So I'm going to put Lapras as the lead since it's seriously lagging behind in terms of levels. So I'm going to be fighting only with it for a little while. Lapras, by the way, is one of my favorite Pokemon. I won't even attempt to hide it. I've always found Lapras ultra cool. It fits my style of play pretty well, you know. High defenses, good attack, and the speed, for in-game purposes, the lack of speed isn't that much of a problem. And it also gets all kinds of cool moves, even aside from the Stab, Surf, and Ice Beam. There's stuff like Thunderbolt, Sing, etc. And in the newer generations, it also has Water Absorb, which is an ability I really like. Too bad Lapras has taken a tumble in usefulness in the last few generations. In the first two, it was among the biggest threats in the game. It was very freaking overused in Red, Blue, and Yellow, a bit less in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald Generation 3 is where it began falling apart for Lapras, since the types that it's weak to began gaining more powerful moves. And in the first two generations, being an Ice type wasn't that big of a deal, even though it was, on paper, a bit of a bad defensive type with just one resistances and a few immunities, but the Stab on Ice Beam was really useful. Nowadays, though, in an era that's completely dominated by Stealth Rock, it's a lot more complicated. So here's the berry, and it's a Lepa Berry, which restores the PP of one move by 10. So is there anything up there? Doesn't look like it. Nope, there's nothing here. Oh, phone call. And what is it for? Okay, it's for an item! I would have preferred a rematch, but items are pretty good too. As I was saying though, even though Lapras is meant to be a defensive Ice type, well, defensive Ice types usually fail because of all those weaknesses. The only one that can work is Mamoswine. And even there, it's more because of the ground type than because of the Ice type. So yeah, Lapras has become a lot less useful, but that doesn't mean it's really bad. If you're tired of the same old, Lapras is one of those that, well, you may want to give it a spin, because it's not as appropriate as others like Vaporeon for today's metagame, but it's still not that bad. So it's one you might want to look into. Still doesn't change the fact that while it's good to have Ice, it's not necessarily good to be Ice. See? That is not entertaining delusions regarding your favorite Pokemon. That's how you do it. Okay, so what will make me so happy? A Leaf Stone! Well, I'm gonna take it since Elemental Stones are rather difficult to obtain in this generation. Okay, next time I'll be fighting those trainers down there.